What is up, guys? Today I am super excited to finally be trashing this 02A shift box, installing the 02J from the Mark IV, and we're going to be using the Polo box, so it's going to be directly bolted in, mostly. Never done this before, so we'll see how it goes. This is a mod I've wanted to do since day one of owning this Corrado. About 4 years ago, I made a video rebuilding this shift box, which this is the factory 02A, which came in Corrados. I think the Mark III is pretty similar, all that stuff. So, rebuild it. It also has a B&M short shifter, which honestly, it doesn't really reduce much of the shift length. It's just a little bit better design, but honestly, the geometry is kind of weird, and I don't really feel like it's much of an upgrade. One thing I did do, which I'm missing the piece that goes on here, this is the groove-in short shifter kit, which goes on the transmission side at the tower. This deletes the crappy plastic piece that goes on there, and this, I think it reduces the shift throw by about 30%. So if you're sticking with the 02A shift box, this is definitely the move, the groove-in piece. But anyway, like I said, have never been happy with it, and I just want to move on to bigger and better things. So, this is the Mark IV 02J shifter. This comes in any of the 5-speed cars. There's a few variations, like this one comes out of the Mark I TT, which is why it's actually forward a little bit like this. One reason to go with this is that it has the threaded part on top, so you could run a factory knob, which I don't, so it doesn't really matter. This is just what I ended up with. And here we have the Polo box, which we did not get the Polos here in the US, but the reason that you do this is because this has the same 4-bolt pattern as the factory one, because the Mark IV one's totally different, which these are hard to find, but you can put these in. It just requires some cutting on the car to make it fit. So as always, we want to do the best possible job we can, so if we don't have to cut, we're going to use this. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this. Let's dig into it. Alrighty guys, as you can see, got the 02J ripped apart. Pretty straightforward. My two issues was getting the screws out of the top here, the steel and aluminum not getting along. Obviously I didn't want to heat it up because of the bushings in there, so grinded a slot in there and a flathead screwdriver took it right out. Also this here, I struggled a little bit, but you just got to make sure you have it clocked right and it pops right out. So this right here is the piece that makes this entire swap very difficult. So right here, got the factory 02J. Like I said, any 02J might look slightly different, but basically the same. Now this arm goes right here, and you can see the cables come directly out. So it has this little hook on here to get it lined up properly. But when we go to swap it over here, the cables are now over farther, so that's not going to work. And this, in the United States, you guys over in Europe, you guys can still get these. So if I had the right contact here, I could probably get one, but I can't find one. It was hard enough finding a Polo box, so we're going to be building our own. Alrighty guys, custom Polo shift lever is complete. Super pumped with how this turned out. So just move the end over so it's nice and straight there. I over welded everything like usual, so grind it all down so my welds won't catch on anything. Put it in here. Now what happened was it was hitting the edge here, and it wasn't centered in the hole with the cable. So you can also see I heated up with the torch and tweaked it over, so it's a little bit curved now. That way it clears here and it's centered. So all worked out really good, so I'm excited to see how this works. You guys can see I started adding water because I wasn't thinking about my plastic bushing and started cooking it. I am reusing all my bushings, which I know is not awesome. I ordered some, they're not here yet. I want to get this thing on the road. So it's just what it is. We'll put this thing together and see how this thing works out. Alrighty guys, box is back together. Now one thing I did learn with this shift lever that I made here, I put it all together and it was actually hitting in here. So the 02J box is slotted here, so slotted that, now it works perfectly. Now on the other end, you can see I got the transmission bracket on here. Now what makes this really cool is that 02A and 02J transmission bell housing brackets, they actually bolt on totally the same even though the cables are different. So got those on there, you can see the slight differences there, that's great. And then also wrapped it with this high heat tape just because we have a big fat 3-inch downpipe that comes right here. It gets smashed in there really tight and I don't want these things melting or anything happening to them. So now let's get it in the car. Shifter is in the car, and man, this is the best mod I've ever done to this car. Like, I should have done this so much sooner. Like, this feels so much better than the 02A ever felt. The way it fits down in the box here, the fitment is perfect. Beside the shift lever, it's literally a few millimeters of fitment there. I am just super pumped with that and cannot wait to drive this thing. One thing you may have thought about is the TT shifter, how it has the offset front. But also, now that I have it in the car, the pull box also sits back a little bit. And so honestly, I feel like it still puts it right where it should be. This knob is not threaded on. It has a little pinch bolt, so it's going to be slid on like this. And as you can see, if you really look, you can see a little bump right there from it. But honestly, I don't think you'll ever know. And that's going to be awesome. Definitely needs some adjustment. I can't get reverse. We got an issue there, but yeah, just need to adjust it up. On the tranny side, fitment is not so easy though. So this is the shift tower. This is what actually shifts the gears inside the transmission, and this is where your cables hook onto. So I didn't talk about this because when I got the transmission rebuilt, the 02J one was already in. But what's nice, the bottom's the same, 02A, 02J, just you gotta swap it out for the cables. As you can see, we got this massive weight on here that takes up a lot of space. So I was able to twist my hoses a little bit and actually get everything to clear, but it is very snug. And also, this setup is very custom that I have done, so your engine bay probably looks quite a bit different than this. So that's the reason a lot of guys do the Diesel Geek short shifter kit, just because you get rid of the big weight. You can always put a weighted shift knob in, and it just really cleans things up here. But for the sake of the video, I want to do this all using stock Volkswagen parts so you can actually see what this does, and it's totally doable like this. Just you do have to be willing to move things around a little bit. As you can see down here, this is the reverse switch, which you do have to hook up the different wires. I think there is a kit that you can get that actually is an adapter, but I just hooked it up there. I love the fact that everything done here is using factory used Volkswagen parts, which anybody can find. Under the car, you can see it bolts up just like the factory one. Now I have my bolts out because we got to put the shield over here. Just wanted to show you guys, this is one issue you run into. These cables are longer. I think I'm just going to kind of mount mine to the side here and push it down the side of the shield. And I think it'll be fine. It just looks a little dumb and I don't like that. Biggest thing is though, you don't want to just be pushing them up that they could be kinked at an angle or something like that. Guys, monumental moment. The car has been on jack stands for way too long. It just looks awesome having it out here. A couple things you guys saw, I got the box in there. The cables are plenty long. I got it kind of hanging down and pulled it to the side, which for now it works okay. I know there's heavy duty like metal cables you can get. I don't know if there's different lengths or maybe cut them down, but that's something I can play with later. Then I had trouble getting it adjusted upright, the side to side, getting over to fifth. We'll see how it is driving it, but even that, I have the cable end adjusted all the way out, so I don't know. Maybe there's more adjustable aftermarket options, but hey, we'll see how this goes. Like I said, we're gonna drive this thing and then finish it out with a cost breakdown of everything we've done so you guys can know what to expect, and then finish out the video with some exciting news for you guys. So good. Man, it feels good to be back, guys. Oh, I miss driving this car. Sounds so good. New shifter feels absolutely incredible, like no regrets at all, especially considering there's no short shift kit, totally stock parts, feels really good. Also, if you guys saw my last video, so this car now has a brand new trans in it, brand new wave track, and we also did the hockey puck transmission and engine mounts. So all new testing at this point, but so far I'm very happy. It actually does not feel that rough with the hockey pucks. Really impressed with them. So not going to drive the car too hard today. We have really old gas in it. I want to get that drained out of here, fresh gas, service it all up and stuff, but really good to be back in this thing. So we're going to do a few thoughts on this project. Then we're going to do a cost breakdown of all the parts I used. And third, we're going to share my massive news. So I put about 100 miles on the car since we completed all the work and could not be happier with it. Now, first off, we talked about the hockey pucks. Obviously, I am getting some vibrations, mainly at idle and hard deceleration, which car's straight piped, it's loud, it's pretty fast. I'm not too worried about it. Like Frank suggested, you use OE rubber in between the pucks. I really think you would not have much there, and it would be great. I am totally on board with the hockey pucks, and I suggest them for you guys too. So 02J, very happy with that also. We used all factory used parts. We have no short shifter, and I would still say that is a massive upgrade. It makes driving the car so much more fun. We did the wave track. I gotta push it harder to actually find out, but so far I like it. And last, the TDI fifth gear. Now there's a couple different ratios. I went with one of the most aggressive ones. It drops at about 1,000 RPMs from fourth to fifth gear. So it's a lot. If you were tracking the car, probably wouldn't be great. But for me, if I'm running it hard on back roads, I don't usually get into fifth gear a whole lot because I like winding it out. And on the highway, it's perfect because, you know, at 70, we're tacking, I forget, like 3 or something. So like that is perfect. Really happy with that. Number 2. Someone asked I do a cost breakdown of my parts, which I think is a great idea. Because like I said, I'm using all used parts, and this is very affordable to do. So 02J shifter, that comes with the cables, and you also need a tower that goes down in the tranny. Now, you can buy them separate or together, but it looks like on eBay, they're starting about 250 bucks. Now, I got my parts from Seb at Cool's German Auto, so hit him up if you're local here. But yeah, you can always jump on the old eBay. 250 bucks, I don't think that's bad. Now, one thing I will say, it's normal Mark IV 5-speed parts. So they keep going up and up on eBay just because everyone doing their swaps and their Mark 1s, 2s, 3s, we're all using the same parts. So it just keeps driving the price up and people can get that. So, but you can always go to any old junkyard, find a Mark IV 5-speed and grab the parts out for way less. So if you score, that's awesome. Now, the part that's a little bit more difficult is the Polo box. Now, you can use this part number, and that also does come up on eBay. So starting about 110 bucks, not bad for a hard to find part. The biggest thing is you will be spending more on shipping because it's probably coming across the pond unless you're there already. Now, this is a base level setup. You can spend more. Like I said, this is used parts, but you should do a shifter rebuild kit. New or even metal cable ends is a great idea. I definitely want to look at options there. Or even short shifter kit, which that's something I definitely want to do. But this is just showing you guys what base level looks like. I also had mentioned about my cables being too long. I know there's metal cables, different options there. So that's some things to look at, but for sure, be looking at 400 bucks just to get started here. Even without any type of short shift kit or anything, I still think this is a great mod, and I'm gonna drive it for a bit and just enjoy it. And someday down the road, we'll do a short shift kit video. So my big news, what could that be? My wife and I are having a baby. We could not be more excited. Big life-changing event coming up very soon here. Baby is coming in November, so that'll be here before we know it. That's been a big reason I've been thrashing on the car a lot of late nights to make this happen, because one of my dreams was always to use this car for a gender reveal. So we actually did that last week, but you guys are gonna have to wait till next video to see. So, hit that thumbs up button if you guys have been enjoying all the Corrado content. I actually have several videos already filmed. They're going to be coming out soon, so I'm very excited to show you guys them. Thank you so much for all the support. Drop your comments or any questions you have for me about this video. I know we went through a lot, but I'm just super excited to be driving this car again. It feels so good. We back! Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Peace!
Go.
What is up, guys? Today I am
Go. Okay.